A good night of Shabbos, Shuva. Shuva Yisrael, Hashem Elokecha. Do tshuva. Do tshuva. What are we doing tshuva for? What are we doing tshuva for? We just had Rosh Hashanah. We coronated Hashem as king. The coronatio from them Kenik. Hachtaras HaMelech. We blew shayva for ourselves and others. We're plugged in. It's gewaldig. What are you doing tshuva for? Already? Rosh Hashanah this year was Tuesday and Wednesday. And here it is, out of Shabbos Shuva, a few days later, and Shuva Yisrael do Shuva. So Chassidus and the Rebbeim explained to us that this is a different type of Shuva. This is a Shuva ad Hashem Elokecha. This is reaching so deep within yourself to bring the essence of the neshama. Shuva from the word return. Return to your very core essence and have that be experienced. And it only can be experienced after Rosh Hashanah. First, you need to establish Hashem as the Melech, as the King. And when we do that, then we can work on this level of tshuva. This isn't just a tshuva, I spoke Lashon Hara, do tshuva. I didn't give enough tzedakah, do tshuva. I was not nice to my spouse, do tshuva. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about even though you're so nice and you haven't done all that, and it's Rosh Hashanah and you're fresh and clean, right? You just started off. But wait a minute, where is that essence of yours at? Oh, for that you need to go very deep within, and that's what the Shabbos Shuva is all about. What I really want to talk about is Kol Nidre Erev Yom Kippur, on Yom Kippur night. What I saw with a famous Lubavitcher Chassid, Rebbe Avraham Mayore, Rebbe Avraham Drizin, the father of the Lubavitcher family, the Drizins. I saw this myself firsthand, so I'm sharing with you. Because last week we spoke about Rebbe Yoel's Rosh Hashanah davening. I described that to you vividly. And now I'm going to describe to you Rebbe Avraham Mayore's beginning of Yom Kippur Kol Nidre. This happened about, I guess, 20 years ago. I can't say exactly which year. Rebbe Avraham was Rebbe Avraham Mayore was a Yid who was born, I believe, in 1900. No, so it happened earlier. I'm sorry, it happened. He passed away in 1990, right? Yeah, he was 90 years old. So this happened earlier, I'm sorry. It happened 1988, 89. It happened one of those years, I believe. Rebbe Avraham would sit, Rosh Hashanah, towards the back of the shul. His son, Reb Mendel, Over Shalom, who also just passed away in the last few years. So he sat over there. He had a seat for him over there, towards the back of 770, by one of those last benches over there. And the Rebbe, I'm sorry, it was earlier. This was 1983, 82 or 83. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up. I'll tell you why. Because I was a bocher, and I participated in the Rebbe's brocha giving to the students, right? All the bocherim would jam-pack the upstairs base medrash, the upstairs zal, and also outside in the sukkah in the courtyard, and it was so packed, it was geferlich. And then afterwards, we would all come down together, going down the steps from upstairs to downstairs. It was packed, squash, everyone's running down, because the Rebbe already had walked in, or was, and Kol Nidre was starting, and because there was such a big crowd, it took us longer to get down. In other words, I think that the Rebbe first went down, and then we the Bacharim went downstairs. So I pushed myself after hearing the Rebbe's powerful brocha to the Temimim, the Rebbe's kinder, the Rebbe's children, the Bacharim, who learn the Temimim. That's why it's another reason to be a Tamim and learn in Temimim. You're not just called a student, you're called a Tamim, because you learn in Temimim. And I finally get down, and it was so packed in 770 even then. I end up, like, where am I going? I can't, I end up by those last benches somehow. And lo and behold, I give a look, and I see another mashpia of mine, a yid who we taught us chassidus and not formally in yeshiva, but informally at Rabbi Shane's shul. I asked him to teach us chassidus, and meanwhile he told us all of his warrior stories, his Mesiras Nefesh stories. It was 3-4 of us. When we came back from Shlichus in Los Angeles, I gathered him. I said, you have a group that wants to learn with you and hear from you. And he said, fine. And he was already getting older. He was in his 80s. Anyway, once a week in the winter, I remember it was very, very special, these sessions, these Fabrengens, mini Fabrengens. And I see Rebbe Avraham Mayore. And Avraham Mayore was a Kluger Chassid. He was so smart, witty, sharp. And at the same time, he was such a big Yiddish Shamayim, a Baal Mesiras Nefesh. He would say anyone that is not prepared to let himself be slaughtered with the knife for disseminating Judaism in Russia is not a chassid. It's not a big deal, Are you ready to go on Mesiras Nefesh? That's what he came from. That's what he did. And here he is. He's sitting there. And they're starting Kol Nidre. And I see his Talis over his head, and I see a towel next to him. And I take a look, and I hear he's sobbing. He's crying. Yom Kippur just began. Already? The Gemara says, Menafshi Kare. When it comes to Maidim, the posture of the body bows and acknowledges God automatically. Rebbe Avraham, this is what I felt. As soon as Yom Kippur came, he was a bucket of tears. And here he is, he was a maskil, he was a person probably who do shas. He was a big Talmud Chacham in Nidre. I heard there's some Litvisha people who attended his Tanya Shir in Lakewood. Some of them massive Talmidei Chachamim, Dayanim, Rabbonim. In fact, they said this one person said he liked that his shir, Rebbe Avram's better than Rebbe Yoel's, because Rebbe Yoel didn't speak Nigla. But Rebbe Avram would talk Nigla and then talk Chassidus. Or even if he spoke first Chassidus, but he always brought in Nigla as if they wanted to talk Nigla, and he knew the Tzos HaChoshen and the Sivis and Rabbi Yosef Engels for him. He knew it all. And here he's melted. And I hear him cry under his talis and take the towel and wipe his face. And it's like